Right, so now we want to look at loops slash iterations, right? Iterations. So let's say you want to write a program that can automatically print maybe the first 10 numbers from 0 up to 10, maybe the first 11 numbers from 0 up to 10. You can't write 11 lines control console.write line 1, console.write line 2, console.write line 3. That's not good programming practice. So you use iterations or loops, right? So C# supports 4 different types of loops that perform the same thing, but the syntax is different. So the loops are the for loop, right? The while loop, and then we have the do while loop. Then we have the for each loop. So these are the 4 types of loops that we have in C#. C# supports these 4 types of loops. So right now we are going to look at 3 of them. The for each loop, we are going to cover it after we learn more about arrays, right? We need information about arrays, knowledge about arrays, so that we look at the for each loop. So right now we're going to look at the for loop, while loop, and do while loop. So let's look at the syntax before we go any further. Syntax, the syntax of the for loop. So for loop, you write the keyword for. Let me press down. For, you write for. Then after writing for, variable, the name of the variable that you want to use, variable. So the first statement is variable initialization. Initialize the variable. Then you write a semicolon. Then after that, you write your condition. You write your condition. You do that. Then you write your decrement or increment. Then after doing that, it's a curly braces echo. The statements that you want to write. Then you close. So this is the basic syntax of a for loop. You write the keyword for. Then you initialize your variable. You write the condition that needs to be met in the loop. Then you add the decrement or increment. Then within the brackets, the block of the code, the body of the code, you write the statements that you want to execute, right? So we want to write a program that prints the first 11 numbers from 0 up to 10. That's what we want to do. So we write for, then initialize the variable. Int I, you know, we're starting from 0, right? Then we write the condition. I should not be greater than or equal to 10, right? That's our condition. Then we want the number to increase by 1. So if you want the numbers to increase by 1, you either write I equals to I plus 1. That's the long way of doing it. Or you can say I plus plus. I plus plus. That's the shortcut. I plus plus. So let's print the numbers. Then you print I. So what this code is going to do is going to go up I. Your I is equals to 0. Then it is going to check, is this condition met? Right? This condition is not yet met. Then it prints this. After printing it, it goes back to the incrementer or decrementer. Then it increments. It starts again. 0 plus 1. So we now have 1. You check, is 1 greater than or less than 10? No. Then print this. Then increment tapana 2. The condition is tested. Sapainos kapana 10. The condition has been met. We are not going all over again. And we have now int I to tanga foot, right? We're not going to do that. So let's print this. You see? 0 to 10. These numbers are printed. So instead of writing 11 lines of code, here we only wrote 1, 2, 3. We only wrote 3 lines of code. We only wrote 2 lines of code, right? So next move, we want to look at the syntax here. While loop, right? So while loop, you write the keyword while. Then you put your condition here. Condition here, to go to condition 1. You write your condition here, char, right? Then you write your statements. After writing your statements, do not forget decrement or increment. If you don't do that, you might end up having an infinite loop. An infinite loop is a loop that will go on and on and on and on and on, and it will never stop, right? So that's the syntax here while loop. Let's remove this. Let's remove this. So for a while, you have to initialize outside, and I is equal to 0, right? Then while the condition now, I should not be greater than or equal to 10. That's the condition, right? Then we have to write our statements. Write. We want to print I, right? Then if we don't do that, I want you to see if we don't decrement, what will happen. I want you to see it. You see, the program is still running. And on and on and on. You see, the process so you don't need to do that. You need to increment I plus plus. Then you run it. Your home and dry. Let's move over to the do while loop. Let's look at the do while loop. This is the syntax do while loop. You write the keyword do. Immediately you open the braces. You write your statements. You write your statements here. Then you close. Then after closing, you have to write the condition while condition. So the program is saying, do this while this condition is met. Again, do this while this condition is met. So let's write the same program. Using a do while. So what would it do? Statement console dot write line I, right? I. Then while the condition. What is the condition? Condition is I should not be greater than or equal to, should not be greater than 10. I should not be greater than 10. Then you terminate. Then you run. Sorry. There's a mistake here. Let me just right. Remember, there's something that you need to do to avoid an infinite loop. So you need to increment all the time. You need to increment. If you don't increment, we are done. So basically, that's how you write your for loop, your while loop, and your do while loop. So next class, we want to look at arrays. We want to look at arrays so that we'll be able to perform the for each loop.